I suppose, if this rumor is true, then what we have before us is the sealed statue of the Xuanling royal family's founder. Ling Mingxing pondered aloud. So, you're saying, inside this statue is the founder of the Xuanling royal family? The one who could rival a two-star Docian? The usually composed Mu Shuzi couldn't help but respond at the mention of Ling Mingxing's words. In the mystic three heavens, even a half-step Docian is considered a pillar of strength, often enough to support an entire sect. As for an actual Docian, any sect with one is among the elite. A two-star Docian could likely rule the mystic three heavens entirely. It appears so, replied the elders of heaven and earth. Above that silver statue, the space seems distorted. Ling Mingxing observed keenly, detecting an unusual warp in the space above the statue. Let's check it out. Nodding in agreement, the group cautiously approached the statue, now appearing particularly eerie as it stood over the dark river. It seems EngSubs harbors a deadly grudge against Finchen. Not surprising. Finchen was notorious, storming the Xuanling royal family 3 times and leaving them in chaos. A voice emerged from the shadow behind the silver statue. It was the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal. Years ago, Finchen's power was at the level of a 9-star Do-D. The whole conflict began when the Xuanling royal family mistakenly killed his adopted son. When Finchen discovered this, he was heartbroken. Having just taken his position as the master of the Incense Pavilion, he launched 3 sieges against the Xuanling royal family, eliminating many of their top officials. Only the combined might of the elite from 9 great sects forced him to retreat. Yet, to this day, the true circumstances behind the Xuanling royal family's act remain veiled in mystery. That wretch is dead. Still, you've been chasing the truth of his death all these years. Soon, you'll join him. EngSubs' smirk quivered slightly, and an eerie black aura suddenly erupted from the crimson glow of the sacred flame seed fire around him. With the release of this dark energy, a sorrowful wail echoed from the black waters below, filling the space. Secret art of the ghost realm, explode? A menacing gleam appeared in EngSubs' eyes as he chanted, and his power surged instantly. Mid 1-star Docian. Late 1-star Docian. EngSubs forcefully pushed his level from mid 1-star Docian to late 1-star Docian. Now, the gap between us isn't quite so vast, EngSubs sneered, his energy mixing spectral coldness with the intense heat of the sacred flame seed fire. A strange fusion. Using ghost energy, I see. Seems the Xuanling royal family has done its share of dark deeds in secret. A wary gleam appeared in Finchen's eyes. Baseless slander. EngSubs' newly heightened confidence resonated in his voice. Once you're dead, your incense pavilion will soon scatter like dogs. Not so fast, Finchen replied, lifting his hand. A frightening surge of fiery power erupted from his hand as he invoked his sacred flame seed fire. Heaven Flame Hand. As he called forth his power, the sacred flame seed fire blazed upon his palm, propelling him straight toward EngSubs. Xuanling Golden Hand. Unfazed, EngSubs unleashed his own attack. Sacred flame seed fire and ghostly aura entwined around his hand, forming a powerful blend of red and black energy, which he used to intercept Finchen's attack. A thunderous explosion erupted as the two forces clashed midair, igniting the dark surroundings with sparks and bursts of color. Bang! 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 In no time, 2 shockwaves dispersed, with Fintion and Xuan Xin simultaneously stepping back. This scum! He's grown so powerful, Xuan Xin thought to himself, struggling to hide his frustration. Even with the Ghost Realm's secret arts enhancing my strength, I'm probably still no match for this guy. The recent exchange with Elder Zhu had drained him significantly. Though his power was surging once again, he knew he was still no match for Fintion. This guy's power fluctuates inside him. Seems he's hiding some unspeakable connection to the Ghost Realm. Fintion's eyes ignited with a surge of blazing fire as he spoke. Xuan Xin, prepare to die. A crimson flame erupted from him, expanding to engulf nearly the entire space. In an instant, Xuan Xin felt an overwhelming suppression bearing down on him, and he muttered, "Not good? He's unlocked a domain." Xuan Xin's eyes flickered with raw terror. A domain, the true signature move of a Do Xian powerhouse. Within a domain, enemies weaken while the user gains strength, marking the ultimate advantage of a Do Xian. That's right. Fantion smirked. And your prize is? He paused, letting the moment hang. A trip to hell. From above, Fantion loomed over Xuan Xin, gripping a ball of crimson fire, radiating the dominance of an unstoppable force. Burn, flame domain. His expression grew intense, and the flame in his hand morphed into an enormous fiery blade, exuding a deadly aura of annihilation. You think that's enough to kill me? Though trapped in Fantion's domain, Xuan Xin was still a late-stage one-star Do Xian, and with a trembling surge of power, he unleashed a massive blade aura of his own. But as Xuan Xin fully braced to counter Fantion's strike, a hidden figure behind a secluded rock within the underground palace quietly closed his eyes, releasing a boundless, ocean-like soul force that flowed invisibly toward Xuan Xin. Swish! The invisible soul attack struck Xuan Xin instantly, shattering his attack. Bloodshot eyes betrayed the immense burden the soul strike had placed on him. A soul attack? Fantion, ever discerning, immediately recognized the interference. Even though he had been holding back, maintaining a perfect one-star Do Xian strength, he knew a clean, decisive kill would be difficult. Yet, with this sudden soul assault dismantling Xuan Xin's defenses, the opportunity for a lethal strike emerged. That brat. He can't rest for a moment, can he? Fantion chuckled, clearly guessing the identity of the soul attacker. Xuan Xin, enraged and desperate to rip apart his unknown assailant, had no time to react before Fantion flashed toward him like a specter, a strange dagger now clutched in his hand. The dagger emanated an eerie chill, deceptively unremarkable, but Xuan Xin's eyes widened in alarm at the sight of it. He gasped in recognition. The annihilating ghost dagger, the third-ranked immortal artifact? Everyone within the mystic three heavens knew of the famed 10 great immortal artifacts, each renowned for its devastating power. The top 5 artifacts, it was said, possessed the potential to annihilate even Do Xian experts. This annihilating ghost dagger, true to its name, was crafted from the rare frosted mystic iron, its forging method lost to time, yet its reputation undiminished. What made it truly fearsome, however, was the annihilation force contained within, a power capable of obliterating anything in its path. It's over, Fantion said calmly, his grip tightening on the dagger. His speed surged as he aimed directly for Xuan Xin's throat. Not this time. Xuan Xin's eyes filled with dread as he faced Fantion's incoming strike. Splash! Behind a hidden rock on the 7th level of the underground palace, a man carrying a heavy ruler on his back suddenly coughed up blood, his face turning pale. Xiaoyan, are you all right? Mu Yingying, standing nearby, asked with concern. Heh, I'm fine. Xiaoyan wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said calmly. The soul attack just now had been unleashed by Xiaoyan himself. Although he successfully fended off EngSubs' attack and defense, it had taken a toll on him. The power difference between them was immense, and even though Xiaoyan's soul attack was effective, he was largely shielded by Fantion's cover. Despite this, the backlash from EngSubs' power was almost too much for Xiaoyan to bear. Your brother's aura? Is it still here? Xiaoyan asked again. It is, Mu Yingying replied. It should be just behind that silver statue. Her eyes softened slightly. Be careful. Wait for the right moment to act, Xiaoyan said, and silence returned to the area. Die! In a swift, ghostly movement, Fantion appeared in front of EngSubs, gripping the annihilating ghost dagger. With a slight twist of his wrist, he skillfully aimed it at EngSubs' throat. Dark Night. EngSubs cried out for help, panic surfacing as he sensed the intense killing intent directed at him, causing even him to shudder. Thud, thud, thud. Fantion's dagger struck something incredibly solid, unable to advance even an inch. At that moment, the dagger was mere inches from EngSubs' throat. Just one more push, and it would have undoubtedly pierced through. Heh. A sinister voice sounded, laced with eerie darkness. Simultaneously, A dense black aura began to swirl around EngSubs' throat, blocking the dagger's progress. A member of the ghost realm? Finch's gaze sharpened as he saw a mysterious figure appear beside EngSubs, immediately pulling back his dagger and retreating several steps to assess the new threat. This cloaked figure was shrouded in a flowing ghostly aura, his face concealed beneath a heavy black robe. Despite the disguise, Finch could sense that this man was likely another powerful Docian. Cough, cough. EngSubs coughed heavily as the immediate danger passed, then looked at Finch. Old dog Finch, caught you off guard, didn't I? EngSubs' tone was filled with mocking laughter. Indeed, I didn't expect this. But if you think adding a mere one-star Docian will be enough to take me down, you're mistaken. Finch's hand tightened around the annihilating ghost dagger, his killing intent palpable with every turn. Dark Knight Ghost Immortal, act now. Finish him off, and I'll make sure you get what you need, EngSubs snarled. Dark Knight Ghost Immortal? Finch's expression shifted. You dare collude with the ghost realm? That's forbidden in the mystic three heavens. With his experience, Finch was well aware of the three notorious ghost immortals in the ghost realm that loomed outside the mystic three heavens. Humph, EngSubs sneered. Forbidden? This is merely a mutually beneficial alliance. And besides, if none of you leave here alive, who will ever know? He laughed darkly. I am the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal from the ghost realm. The cloaked figure stared coldly at Finch, introducing himself. He had indeed allied with EngSubs, thus stepping in to assist him now. Moreover, the ghost realm entrance in mystic three heavens remained sealed. Without EngSubs' covert help, even the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal couldn't have crossed over. Humph! Finch let out a disdainful snort, sensing that this Ghost Immortal's strength matched that of a perfect one-star Docian, a formidable opponent. Dark Knight, strike now. Together, we'll capture Finch. EngSubs, still cautious, urged once more. As his words fell, EngSubs' sacred flame seed fire extinguished, replaced by a heavy ghostly aura, while the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal's ghostly energy surged forth as well. This isn't looking good, Finch's expression grew tense. To mask his true strength, he'd only revealed his perfect one-star Docian level. During the intense battle in the underground palace of the Xuanling royal family, Wenzi relayed the news of Dong Xuan's demise to the Xuanling king. The king then went alone to the 6th level of the underground palace, quietly awaiting his moment. It seems Dong Xin truly has fallen, and even the mother of the celestial Bodhi tree has been taken away, he mused. No matter. I hope the people from the incense pavilion won't disappoint me. When the time comes, I'll make sure they give everything back. This time, the Xuanling king brought no one with him, wielding only the primal force of the blood demon envoy. His presence radiated an overwhelming, malevolent aura. Strike now, commanded Xuan Xin and the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal in unison as their figures surged forward. Though their power was somewhat restrained in the domain of Finch's flame, the two warriors were unfazed, knowing that if Finch's group found Yin Qi and broke the seal, they'd face immense trouble. Annihilation Force. Finch, unable to hold back, activated the annihilating ghost dagger in his hand. A surging, brown force of annihilation rose from the blade, attacking both Xuan Xin and the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal. I've got this, the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal, cloaked in a black robe, sneered. Dark ghostly energy left his body, forming into a massive celestial lion head that met Finch's annihilating force head-on. The sound of rushing water filled the domain as Finch's figure vanished, reappearing near Xuan Xin and the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal. The annihilating ghost dagger gleamed in his hand as he lunged forcefully at them both. The dagger's power was undeniable. It struck through the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal's protective ghost energy, forcing him back as the ghostly aura on his robe began to wane. Damn it! The Dark Knight Ghost Immortal found himself under dual attack, caught between Finch's annihilating force and his sudden assault. Meanwhile, Xuan Xin's cold gaze remained fixed on Finch and his dagger. Xuan Xin's own ghostly energy shielded him, countering Finch's attacks. If not for Xuan Xin's resistance, Finch's strategy, first wielding the dagger to restrain the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal, then launching an offensive, would have left one of them in a dire situation. Fortunately, they were two, not one. The spectacle should be wrapping up soon, Xuan Xin muttered, glancing back to see Zhu Jin and his group reaching the silver statue, where the seal on Yin Qi was hidden. With the illusion dispelled, finding Yin Qi was only a matter of time. Dark Knight, act now. We can't delay any longer, Xuan Xin urged, his eyes gleaming with a strange light. His knowledge of Finchen only deepened his caution, recognizing Finchen as far from ordinary. Though Finchen's adopted son had fallen to the Xuanling royal family, Finchen had still fought the royal family as a mere 9-star Dodi, slaying many of their powerful members in the process. The need to remain vigilant was crucial. Understood, responded the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal, unleashing Netherworld Ghost Water. He, too, sensed an extraordinary power emanating from Finchen, perhaps even approaching that of a 2-star Do Xian. At the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal's command, the black rivers at the bottom of the cavern trembled, merging into a massive black pillar exuding a dark, blood-like energy that encased it, covered in intricate, ominous black runes. With the appearance of this sinister pillar, the black rivers vanished entirely, feeding into it, filling the space with a chilling, eerie wind. What a sinister method, remarked Zhu Jin's group, now atop the silver statue. Their senses told them of the terrifying energy emanating from the massive black pillar below. A single touch could very well overpower even Do-D-level beings. It's too late now. I can sense Yinji is nearby. We must rescue him quickly and leave this place. Zhu Jin's face took on a hint of seriousness, and a faint, earthy yellow flame slowly rose from his palm. Is that sacred flame? Ling Mengxing couldn't help but ask. No, this presence feels much weaker, not even close to a sacred flame seed fire. Ling Mengxing shook his head shortly after. This was taken from Xiao Yin, Zhu Jin explained. Fireheart Heavenly Rock has certain properties that make it ideal for sensing other sacred flames. I have my own sacred flame seed fire. No need for all this trouble, Ling Mengxing said, activating his internal flame, yet no reaction came. This? Ling Mengxing was taken aback. The Xuanling royal family must have sealed Yinji in a way that prevents us from finding him through his own flame power, Zhu Jin added. Only the attraction between sacred flames can lead us to him. After a moment, a hint of worry appeared in Zhu Jin's eyes. What's wrong, Elder Zhu? Elder Tian, nearby, noticed Zhu Jin's hesitation and asked. I just feel everything is going far too smoothly. It's been so long, and no other strong members of the Xuanling royal family have shown up. It's unusual, almost as if something's off. Ever since we entered this underground palace, there's been no opposition. It could mean... Zhu Jin's face turned grim. Could it be a trap? Mu Shuzi pondered aloud. I'm not certain, but I do know that the Xuanling king harbors some dissatisfaction with Xuan Xin. The previous Xuanling king, Tian Lao, spoke up. Although he holds the authority of the Xuanling royal family, some of his decisions are still overturned by Xuan Xin. So, perhaps the Xuanling king's lack of action is deliberate. This Xuanling king is ruthless, Zhu Jin remarked without surprise at Elder Tian's knowledge. Let's proceed. Yinji should be close. The space around here is showing signs of distortion, Elder Tian observed, and they followed the faint sacred flame origin in Zhu Jin's hand. Meanwhile, across the vast cavern, in the fiery domain, Dark Knight Ghost Immortal, Xuan Xin, and Finchen stood amidst the newly formed black pillar, their battle reaching a fever pitch. What a sinister aura! Finchen withdrew his attack and dagger, his gaze warily fixed on Dark Knight Ghost Immortal. Finchen was well aware of Dark Knight Ghost Immortal. Outside of the mystic three heavens, a continent in the ghost realm linked to their world, Blood River Continent, had long coveted the fertile lands of the mystic three heavens. The resource-poor Blood River Continent was plagued by internal strife, and its ghostly inhabitants set their sights on their prosperous neighbor. The three ghost immortals who ruled Blood River Continent constantly sought to invade the Xuanling continent, but each time, the mystic three heavens' powerful sects repelled them, though at great cost. Before him now stood Dark Knight Ghost Immortal, the weakest of the three, yet formidable enough to match a perfect one-star Do Xian. Finchen, Dark Knight Ghost Immortal said, cloaked in dark robes, his voice dripping with malevolence as he raised the giant black pillar. "Will you dare face me?" "Why not?" Finchen responded boldly. "Nether Blood Pillar. Suppress him." Dark Knight Ghost Immortal's sinister voice echoed across the battlefield. Before long, the massive black pillar, under the control of the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal, shot toward Huatian within the domain. As it passed, even the space itself seemed to tremble, as though it could shatter at any moment. The Nether Blood Pillar? What a move! EngSubs, now unable to contend with Huatian, could only watch in astonishment as the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal launched the attack. I remember this strike once killed a Docian expert from a certain sect of the Mystic Three Heavens. Nether Blood Pillar, is it? Huatian murmured. From within his domain, he had already sensed every move of the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal and EngSubs below. When the black pillar first emerged, he could immediately feel an overwhelming aura of ghost energy emanating from it. Ghost energy was a sinister force that only ghostly beings could cultivate, similar to imperial energy or the force of life and death. However, it was even more chilling. If it invaded the body, it would undoubtedly corrode one's strength, causing hidden damage and hindering future progress. As the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal continued to manipulate it, the black pillar transformed into the formidable Nether Blood Pillar. Huatian was certainly familiar with its fearsome reputation. The next moment, as the slow-moving attack approached him, Huatian's pupils emitted an intense heat. He let out a slight smile. The Nether Blood Pillar is indeed powerful, but you think this can suppress me? It seems highly unlikely. As the last syllable left his mouth, the sacred flame seed fire erupted from within his body, bursting forth like a volcanic explosion. The entire domain was engulfed in blazing red flames. Sacred Flame Seed Fire. The spirit of the sacred flame. Soon, as the scorching power of the sacred flame seed fire filled the domain, Huatian gave a peculiar smile. The crimson flames began to merge slowly in front of the wide-eyed Dark Knight, Ghost Immortal, and EngSubs. This guy's mastery over the sacred flame seed fire runs this deep? Even EngSubs, proud as he was, couldn't help but admit it. Though he, too, was a fire attribute cultivator and possessed the sacred flame seed fire, achieving what Huatian did would still take him considerable time. Gathering spirit. Huatian's dignified voice echoed throughout the domain. As he spoke, the flames completed their fusion, taking the shape of a massive flame lion, over 100 meters tall. The flame lion's body was a striking silver, with powerful limbs radiating a faint yet immense aura. Even a Docian would not dare underestimate it. The only flaw was that its eyes remained shut. However, as soon as the flame lion formed, the power of Huatian's domain significantly weakened, clearly showing the amount of energy used to conjure this creature. It seems the pavilion master of the incense pavilion has a deeper understanding of flame manipulation than I do, Xuan remarked with surprise as he hid alongside Mu Ying. After all, Huatian wasn't an alchemist. Forming such a powerful flame creature relied on pure strength, whereas Xuan could only accomplish something similar using his soul power. Even then, the might of his creation would pale compared to this flame lion. While Xuan was intently watching the flame lion in the sky, a strange blue flame burst uncontrollably from Mu Ying's body, sending out an unusual aura toward a slight distortion in the void above a silver statue. Mu Ying noticed the strange energy and turned her gaze, murmuring to herself, "There? Has my brother's aura?" On the other side, the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal's face, hidden beneath his black robes, twitched violently. The flame lion exerted considerable pressure on him, as it was not just composed of Huatian's sacred flame seed fire. There was also a blend of domain power and some of Huatian's insights into flame manipulation. Despite the pressure, the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal snorted coldly, clearly ready to make a desperate move. Though Huatian's flame lion was formidable, his own attack would not be easily outmatched. Rage of the Flame Lion. Huatian's confident smile spread as a mouthful of crimson blood spurted into the flame lion's body. As the eyes of the flame giant lion opened, everyone on the 7th level of the underground palace, including the Dark Knight Ghost Master, felt an overwhelming and boundless aura. The source of this aura was none other than the flame giant lion right before them. Boom, boom, boom. With its eyes wide open, the flame giant lion took one look at the ominous pillar of ghostly energy and, without waiting for Fan Tian's command, leapt forward, charging directly at the nether blood pillar. Swoosh! The flame giant lion clashed fiercely with the pitch-black nether blood pillar, their powers creating a massive shockwave, each vying for dominance. Retreat quickly. Seeing this, Zhu Jin couldn't hold back, activating his array and channeling his force of life and death, opting to abandon the search for Yin Ji for now to shield everyone around him. Fan Tian, unless he unleashed his full strength as a 2-star Do Xian, would struggle against 2 formidable 1-star Do Xian opponents. Recognizing this, Zhu Jin decided to neutralize the 2 adversaries before resuming the search for Yin Ji. Seeing this, Xin Muqing's face showed a flash of worry, though she held back from speaking. Ling Mingsheng, observing her reaction, noted her gaze fixed on Xian Xian. Ling Mingsheng trusted Xin Muqing deeply, though her background puzzled him. Her recent actions sparked a bold theory within him, a suspicion he couldn't quite shake. Watch out! Xiao Yin, still stunned by the sight of Fan Tian's flame giant lion, failed to notice Mu Yingying's distraction beside him. A massive ripple of flames surged towards them. Reacting swiftly, Xiao Yin threw up a defense, intercepting the flame intended for Mu Yingying. Thank you. Snapped out of her trance, Mu Yingying turned to Xiao Yin, gratitude in her voice. We'd better regroup. Our pavilion master's attack and that of the mysterious cloaked figure are beyond us. Stay cautious, Xiao Yin advised. That might not be possible right now. As Mu Yingying spoke, another scorching heat wave rolled over them. As she finished speaking, within the field Fan Tian had covered, the tides of battle began to shift. Fan Tian, you old devil. Prepare to die. Within the domain, the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal's black robe showed traces of searing flames, clearly injured by Fan Tian's assault, while Fan Tian himself bore few visible wounds. Watching Fan Tian withstand such a powerful strike from the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal, Xian Xian's eyes filled with fury. He surged forward, dark ghostly energy swirling in his hand as he launched an attack on Fan Tian. Humph! Though Fan Tian was no stranger to hardship, the power clash between the flame giant lion and the nether blood pillar left him secretly feeling the strain. Flame! As Xian Xian's ghostly energy surged forward, Fan Tian called out calmly. In response, a brilliant burst of flame filled the domain once more. Boom! 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 Their palms clashed once again, only to separate after a few breaths. But it was clear to all onlookers that Xian Xian was losing ground. Xian Xian, this opponent is far beyond us. Should we just call it quits today? The Dark Knight Ghost Immortal transmitted to Xian Xian, clearly surprised by the fearsome power Fan Tian had just displayed. I didn't sacrifice so much just to be humiliated, Xian Xian replied. Kill him for me. Though he partially believed the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal, his heart still burned with rage. Heh. Xian Xian, if I weren't still pavilion master of the Incense Pavilion, you'd already be a corpse. Fan Tian's voice echoed through the domain as he stood high above, looking down. Don't try to scare me. Xian Xian and Fan Tian's long-standing grudge only deepened, and Xian Xian's face turned grim at the taunt. While all eyes were on the 3 figures in the domain, the Xuanling king slipped quietly onto the 7th level of the underground palace. Heh. Xian Xian, he muttered to himself, it seems fate itself opposes you this time. With that, he concealed his aura, but his entire being radiated an intensely malevolent energy, one wholly incompatible with this world. This time, let's see if you can survive. Dragon Devourer Legion. In the next moment, Xian Xian's hand revealed a golden token engraved with the characters Dragon Devourer. The Dragon Devouring token? This token can summon the Dragon Devourer Legion at will. So, it's in your possession. But rest assured, the Dragon Devourer Legion is too far from the Xuanling royal family right now, so that thing is useless. Upon seeing the mysterious golden token in Xian Xian's hand, the Xuanling king smiled. Dragon Devouring token? Fantion's brow furrowed. At this moment, Zhu Jin and his forces had already been significantly weakened. In the next instant, a resolute expression crossed Burning Sky's face as he prepared to strike. His plan was to wound Xuan Xin swiftly, locate Yin Ji without delay, and escape immediately. Just then, a token appeared in Xuan Xin's hand, and his expression turned into a sudden smile. With a swift motion, he crushed the token, unleashing a surge of overwhelming power. Yet, it wasn't this force that made Burning Sky most uneasy. The energy before them gathered into a massive vortex, swirling as if something monumental was about to emerge from within. Everyone on the 7th level of the underground palace held their breath, knowing that if any formidable figure from the Xuanling royal family were to appear now, it could completely alter the battle's outcome. A few breaths later, the vortex gradually dissipated, revealing nothing. What's going on? Xuan Xin gasped in shock, a hint of panic crossing his face. As if recalling something, he stretched out his hand to retrieve another token. Another attempt to summon Dong Xian? Pity, the Xuanling king remarked slowly, that Dong Xian, with his meager early 1-star Do Xian strength, dared to bargain with me. His death was inevitable. A heavy silence fell, punctuated only by Xuan Xin's anger. What is happening? It seems fate is not on your side this time, Burning Sky remarked coldly. Rest assured, I won't kill you just yet. But once I step down as pavilion master of the Incense Pavilion, it will be your end, Xuan Xin. With these words, the heat of the flames around him surged, unleashing an immense power. Dark Knight Ghost Immortal, help me? Xuan Xin, on the verge of collapse, called out in desperation. The Dark Knight Ghost Immortal sighed and was about to assist when suddenly Zhu Jin's figure surged forward, blocking his path. Xuan Xin, this is the first time I'm avenging my disciple, but it won't be the last. With a final burst of brilliant energy, Burning Sky unleashed his fury upon Xuan Xin. A torrent of fiery energy, like a beam bridging heaven and earth, struck Xuan Xin directly. Despite his defenses, he was ultimately engulfed by the blinding blaze. TCH, Burning Sky lacks the courage.